But I think having something to call your own, just like as a human, you know, as a person, is like a nice thing, even outside of the music industry. You know, like you hear these people like slaving away for this job that they're like not really into, and you know, really working hard, and they're like they feel kind of empty about it. You know, I think it's the same principle.
Yeah, it's kind of why I moved towards music, is that control over, well, life ultimately. You know, there's a million other things I could have stepped into, and music's obviously just the thing that grabbed me, I guess, which sounds a bit
I think a lot of people who work and do that type of thing too. Like, I think if you were to talk to people who have jobs working for someone else that they're not really like in love with, a lot of people probably have like that desire to like have their own thing. They're like, man, I like, or you talk to, I always wish I like, you know, I was really into this and I never like did it. And it's like, it's like heartbreaking. You know, you're like, that's horrible. You know?
What I found astounding was when I went to quite a posh, quite expensive school, you know, and like a lot of the guys and girls there went to like really good universities and then went to like really fancy jobs. And then we did a 5-year school reunion, and I just remember like talking to some of them, and they just sounded so bored of work already. I'm like, you're not even 5, you're like 2 years into your job because you went to university, and you're already like bored of getting up for it. Like, what? Yep. I have a friend who earns a lot of money in London, and I don't think he's not the worst example, but I know for sure he gets a bit bored of work quite like fairly regularly.
Yeah.
Like, how much is your time worth, you know?
Exactly. I mean, that even has a few different ways of looking at it. Like people who are making just absolutely killer money, you know, if you do that for 10, 15, 20 years and you're making like really good money, like you could retire, you know, if you do the right things with your money and you're responsible and not reckless with it. Like there's a bigger picture that like is there for sure, you know, like a younger retirement and like being able to do things you want and go on like the trips and like live a cool lifestyle. But the price of that is like, you know, maybe doing something you really don't like for a pretty extended period of time, you know. So there's a trade-off. I get that. But dude, I totally know what you're talking about. I have friends too who, you know, went to college and did the whole thing, and they have these like, you know, professional jobs. Some of them are happy, some of them love it, but definitely there's a few I've talked to and it's like, man, you seem so bummed out. Like you look so bummed. It sucks.
Yeah. Well, hey, power to us, well, more you. You're doing some cooler tours than me at the moment.
Yeah.
In other words, you're
trying. I'm trying, man.